Hey, welcome to our Caspio Live. It's Ned. I hope everyone's having a good Monday. If you're able to hear me okay, let me know in the chat window and we can begin today's live stream. And I hope everyone had a good weekend. So yeah, do me a favor if you are able to hear me. We just want to get that housekeeping item out of the way. Sound good? All right, Steven, welcome back. Lucas, nice to see you guys. Welcome back to the live stream. Today we have a fun topic on how we can add a feedback button to our website or any page on our website and collect some feedback in a non-obtrusive way because, it's a seamless, it doesn't stand out, this feedback button. And when you hover over, we're going to have a modal pop-up in the middle, and then we can track and collect feedback from all the web pages of our website, internal, external. It doesn't matter because you can embed that feedback button anywhere. With a simple code, and I will provide the entire package for you. So all you need to do is just copy and paste some code inside your website on any one of your web pages, and then you're going to be able to collect the feedback. Now, just for fun, I'm going to share this link with you guys in the chat window, and I would like for you to just click on the feedback button and submit the form, and then just let me know when you're done. So I want you to see what kind of data we're able to collect and how we can track that inside a data page report. Now, if you guys have attended my previous live streams in the past, you can build a whole dashboard around this. I only have a single data page with a chart. So simplified just to see what's coming in, but you can build a much more robust experience in terms of how you lay out the data and what information you see via that form. My form is very simple. All I'm asking is how satisfied are you with this page? And then we have the comments section. Upon submission, we're able to get that feedback to come in. But you can modify this form to have a look and collect whatever feedback you deem necessary for your own project. Hey, Heather, thank you. Well, let's see. I'm going to just refresh my report. This is my two entries that I made. I'll just refresh and we see 3 more. We have love the colors. Okay, good. Pick a different color palette. Wow, okay. So we have a contrasting view on the colors. Great looking website. Okay. This is not my website. This is just a random template that I found online. And then we have, I wanted to show you how we have the same button in 2 different web pages. So had you submitted this feedback form from this page, we will be able to track and see that feedback came from a different URL. Okay, so we have the ability on our forms to stamp an auto value, in this case the URL, and I can see that everybody is using Chrome. Good job. I think that's the preferred browser for me. And then we're also seeing the comments and what score you gave it. So somebody gave it a 5, we had a 3, we had a 5, and then the average, a bit too much purple. So the average here is a 4 across the board, in terms of feedback. You could also have digits after the decimal if you'd like to be a little bit more precise in terms of what the overall feedback is. So that's the idea. We have feedback that was submitted by me last month, and then we have 3 new feedback submissions today. And what's nice about it is, like I said, you can embed that feedback form on any web page and then just easily be able to collect all that feedback in a report. And as I said, I only have 1 data page, but you could filter out. You could have multiple charts if you'd like. You can have multiple reports if you want. Just different way to track all the feedback that's coming in. So let's see what's needed. Also, one more thing that I'm going to cover today is how do we actually modify that feedback button. Okay, a lot of people like to have the feedback button on the right-hand side. Maybe I'm the only one, but my preference is to have the feedback button on the left-hand side. I don't know, because I work left to right. I showed this to a few of my colleagues, and they said they prefer having the button on the right side. So maybe I'm alone in this, but I don't know. To each their own. And then also, how can we change the colors? And then how can we reposition it on the right-hand side, which is fairly simple. So let's go inside our account, and let's take a look at the table. There's only 1 table. The fields that I have is category, We have the rate, which is a dropdown. If you're satisfied, very satisfied. We have the comments, the destination URL that's hidden on the form, but we're able to capture that information. We have the browser agent and date submitted. Now, your form will have most likely different fields, different labels. It just depends on what you want to collect. Okay, it's completely up to you. So you can come over here, you can add new fields, you can remove fields. It's up to you. On the data page side, I always get asked this question: what can we do with that HTML data page? Well, here's a good example of what we can do. So I'm using an HTML data page, and I know it's going to seem like a lot of code, and it is, and it can be a bit overwhelming, but believe me when I say this, all I'm doing here is combining the modal solution that we covered a couple of live streams ago to have that modal pop-up open up in the middle, and the style. That's really all there is to it. So this whole style that you see here, all the properties and all the values, all the way up until here, which is more than halfway point. This is for the modal, and this is also for the feedback button. And it's really, really easy to modify the color of that feedback button. It's actually at the very top. So all the information you want, if you wish to modify the color of the feedback button, here's the background color. You can just change the hex code to something else. This is the color of your text. Okay, you have the padding around the button. When you hover over the button, the only effect I have is to add a shadow. So you can change that shadow to something else, or you can put a background color here if you wish. So when you hover, over the feedback button, you can change color to something else. So just a little bit of CSS manipulation, and you can, even on the hover event, you can have that button change to something else. Okay, and then at the very bottom, after the style, okay, we have to include these two libraries, the jQuery and Bootstrap, in order for the modal to work. And I will provide you with the detailed instructions what you need to change, but it's the same as before. Okay, we have the app key that needs to be changed. So this is the app key to your submission form, your feedback form. Okay, that needs to change. And also the first 8 numbers of your app key, that's the prefix. And then we have your account ID that needs to be replaced right over here. So again, same as before, nothing has changed here with the modal. Okay, and that's all we're doing here, is to have that form work. And what you're going to be embedding into your own web page is actually this deploy code. So you're going to take this, copy it, paste this into your as many web pages as you want. There's no limit. And then it's going to render that feedback button on the left-hand side. Now, if you want to position that feedback button on the right side, I'm just going to show you first from here on what it looks like. So I'm going to use my inspect tool. I'm just going to show you that all you need to do is select a button, and you can see position fixed. We're going to keep that the same. We want that button to be fixed position, and then just change left to right. You click here, you can see how the feedback button is now on the right side. So in your CSS, you're going to rename left to right, and now you just have to play with the translate X, which is moving it left to right. So before we do the hover over, so we can just click on the -8 pixels. And then let's just have that be in a little bit more. So you can go back to your code and you can just set this to 8 pixels inside the feedback button, the CSS, and then the hover over. So when you hover, let's just find it. Okay, so we're going to come over here and change -5 pixels to maybe 5 pixels. So now when you click outside of that, oh, I guess it's the same. So I just need to change this to something else. Give me 1 second. Maybe not 5 pixels. Let's have it go maybe 2 pixels. Why is it not going further in? Did I not change? Let me remove the hover over. Oh, I need to remove the hover over in the inspect tool. So now when you hover over, you can see the effect. So now it's on the right-hand side as opposed to the left-hand side. So it's easy to move it around if you need to. The second thing I have is my feedback form. So this is when you click on the properties, you're going to get this whole entire app key. And what you want to do is just grab after the eighth one in the beginning, just grab the second part of the app key. You're going to open up Let's open this up in a new tab so you can see. As I was saying before, I'll give you guys the instructions, but here is that code or that number that needs to be replaced with your own form. And then you're going to grab first 8, copy it, come back here and just scroll down a little bit and replace this number over here. And then your account ID is going to be located. If you click on the account settings, open it up in a new tab, you will find your account ID right over here. Okay, so that's the information you'll need to copy and paste and replace inside the HTML data page. The feedback button or the feedback form is very simple. It's just a submission form data page. Here are all of my fields. Initially I had the category field in there, then I removed it. And I just went with the rate, which is a drop-down. Now this is a number data type in my table, so display is text, but we need to capture the value. So if you're very satisfied, it's going to be a 5, satisfied 4, and so on. Then we have the comments. We have the destination URL, which I'm using the auto value from the drop-down. And when you select the auto value, we have something called data page host. And for my example, I'm just using the page URL, no parameters. If you want the entire string, the full URL, you can include the parameters too if you like, or just the domain name. And then we have the browser agent, also an auto value. And instead of using data page host, we select user agent, and that's going to allow us to capture what browser the end user is submitting the form from. And last but not least, we have the date submitted. So a very simple app that can have a lot of benefits, especially if you're just going live with your product and your application and you want to collect that initial feedback from your website visitor. Or if you're already an established website, it's still good to have something on your site to collect that feedback like I said, in a non-obtrusive way from your end user. And really that feedback button is fully modifiable. So you can change the colors, you can change the positioning, you can even add an icon in it if you'd like before the feedback text. So playability wise, you can do so much to it in terms of look and design. So I try to simplify it for you in the CSS. One last thing that I want to mention about that is I'm making the feedback button. Let me reload the page. I only have it show up when you're in tablet view and full screen. On mobile view, the feedback button is going to disappear. Okay, because then it becomes, it gets in a way in mobile view, especially with the form pop-up, and it's not an ideal setup if you're using a mobile. So you'll see, and forgive my messy, disorganized background here, but you can see how it goes away. In tablet view, it still shows up. In mobile view, it goes away. And in full screen, it's still going to show up. So you can modify the CSS in the code. If you still want that to show up in mobile view, I don't recommend it. But you can modify and remove the media query in order for it to show up in phone view as well. Okay. So is anyone thinking about using this solution? Again, you can use it for both external and internal web pages. It doesn't have to be just external, like in my example here. But it's a good way to understand how your customers feel about your offering and what you're providing. Even if you just include it in one page, just to test it out, it's still helpful. Okay, great. Yeah, glad to hear. So I'm going to provide all the data pages and tables, all the dependencies in the download in the file. So all you need to do is just download it, import it into your account, make a few modifications inside the HTML data page with all the numbers that we just talked about that you need to copy and paste from the feedback form, and then just click on deploy and try it. See if you like it. You don't have to keep it, but it's good to keep inside your account just in case in the future you're prototyping, building proof of concepts, and you want to collect that initial feedback for an alpha or beta, whatever you decide to release. Okay. So that's all the snackable content I had for you today. It's a very quick topic for today's live stream, but it does have a lot of value. Next Monday, we're going to tap into an education use case, and we're going to talk about how to build a dashboard for a school district to track student safety. It's kind of a hot topic these days, and we want to be able to track for different schools inside the same district anything pertaining to bullying, detention, suspension, just overall student safety, and be able to build a nice dashboard around that so that we can log in and see the metrics for different campuses. We are getting a lot of inquiries surrounding that topic. So usually when we come up with these topics for live streams, we try to tackle what's hot today and what's trending and what we actually receive a lot of requests for, so that we can provide the solution, have the video. So as I said before, we kill two birds with one stone in the live stream, so people can take the content and see how something is developed in Caspio. I know it's not the most fun topic to talk about, but if we're getting a lot of these requests, it makes sense to bring it to the live stream so people can see how Caspio can be used for something like that. Let me take a look at my questions here. Planning to use the brand new solution. Hi, Ned. What's the status of the UI controls when Moto? Yeah, so I've been going back and forth with the development team. There's really no solution. Unfortunately, there's really no solution for that because it requires Ajax on the server side to pull the data. The only other solution which I tried, believe me, but it just doesn't work well, is the emulating the search by hiding the filter button. And the reason why it doesn't work is because there's lag and confusion. And on the search field, when you type something in, you wait half a second. There's a lot of lag. So when you click search, that information that you typed in disappears because it reloads the whole page and it just goes away. And I can't figure it out. There's just no way. There's no way. My hands are tied. If I could use JavaScript to do it, I would, but it requires Ajax to call the information from the server side to bring that information to the front, which is not something I can do using front-end manipulation. It requires back-end manipulation. Now, if you guys want to go through PS, unfortunately, through PS, you can get that done because they have the ability to access the back-end in that way to pull the data. I cannot do it with front-end techniques. No way to do that, unfortunately. I even tried to play around with something with an iframe to load the data, but it's still not an easy, feasible fix. So I apologize. It's on me. We did the UI controls and searching. If you have a small data set and you're showing everything on one page, it'll work beautifully. But if you have paging to go from one page to another, I'm really sorry. I did not even think about that when I built that out because I only had 10 records in my results page. So that's on me. So sorry about that. I know it was exciting, but I know that the team is looking into making that part of the standard offering. So I don't know when it's going to go live, but the team has been working on that to make it available. Because it does speed up a lot of time too. You don't have to go back and forth between the search button. Part of me wishes I never brought that up because now that we know about it, it's like, yeah, this makes more sense. It's so much faster than having to go back and forth. Yeah. Sorry, Lucas and everyone else. That's on me. I mean, I'm not going to give up. I'll continue to try and see if there's some ways to make it happen. When I find the time, I'll work on it. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for coming back. I appreciate it. Is the Moto plugin going to be added to as a standard feature in Caspio? I can't comment on that. I really can't. Let's just put it this way. It will. Okay, it will. I just don't know when. Okay, but it will be added as a standard offering inside Caspio down the line with the brand new Caspio builder that the team has been working on. But I don't know when exactly. Okay. No, you just don't have access to the back end. That's yeah. You don't have that access to the back end, unfortunately. It's not something that we can even entertain at this point. With an API, I'm sure you could. So if you know how to write API, you might be able to pull that off. Yeah, I think that it's possible. Yeah, it should be possible with an API. You have to write it, but then I don't know. You still might need to gain access to the backend to retrieve the data to the full table. I don't know. I'll double check on that. I'll double check on that one. Yeah, there's a lot of exciting things to look forward to. Unfortunately, I can't give you any dates when something's going to go live because, as you know, with development, you hit roadblocks for whatever reason, and I don't want to overpromise and then underdeliver. You know, that's not like I did with the UI controls. I don't want to run into that again. All right, thank you guys so much for coming back. I appreciate your time. Next week, like I said, we'll talk about an education example with the dashboard and how we can grab information from multiple campuses for student safety. If you have a particular need for that or just dashboard in general, this might be a good use case or a good example for you. But have a good rest of your week. And just an FYI, we are going to be moving the live stream to a Wednesday. I believe it's either going to be on the 19th or the 26th. So moving on, the live stream will be moved to a Wednesday. Same time, 10 o'clock in the morning. I need to double check if it's going to be the 19th or the 26th. But I will let you guys know on the 10th what we plan on doing about that. Okay? So, moving to a Wednesday. I did receive a lot of emails from people wanting to move the live stream because I get it. Monday is a very busy day for everyone, and Wednesday tends to be a little bit more relaxed. And then Friday, everybody checks out, so we definitely don't want to do it on a Friday. All right, thanks, Steven. Look for the description of this YouTube video. I'll make it the download available in the afternoon, as I normally do. Just download it, upload it, and it's very easy to manipulate and put into your site and just play around with the positioning, colors, and what you wish to collect on your feedback form. You just have to modify your table. Okay? All right, thanks everyone so much. Have a good rest of the week, and we'll see you next Monday. All right, take care. Bye-bye. I'll keep the chat running for a few more minutes, but I'll close the live stream just in case there are any more questions or feedback. All right, take care. Bye-bye.